Alright, it's Lynn. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have a sort of controversial video. It may be controversial to some people because today I'm going to be talking about books/series that I'm not going to finish or read. Now, there will be a lot of ranting in this video, so some of these series you may really like in this video, or some of these books you may really like, and I may be ranting about them. So if you do like these books, that's good, that's cool if you like them. They just weren't for me, or I'm just no longer interested in reading them, and maybe I have problems with them, so yeah, I just don't want to offend anybody. I decided to make this video because recently I've been kind of overwhelmed with my TBR, and the reason I'm putting quotations around that is because I felt like my TBR kind of now consists of books that I don't really want to actually read, and I don't know, I just want to lessen that that list, because if there's too many books on it, I'm going to feel overwhelmed, and I'm going to get into a slump, and I'm not going to start reading the books I actually want to read. I'm going to force myself to read these books I have no interest in reading, and usually I'm the type of person that continues a book no matter what because I'm just like that, but I felt like I'm going to maybe stop doing that because it's kind of been overwhelming me the past couple of months, and I felt like I'm slowly getting into a reading slump, and I really don't want that. The first book I have here is The Iron Trials by Cassandra Clare and Holly Black. This book, I have heard really good things about it, but even when I first bought this book, I haven't read it at all yet. I haven't even read the first page. But when I did buy this book, I didn't really want to read it. I'm not even sure why I bought it. I kind of feel bad for buying it. But it's just, I'm not really into whatever this book's about. And I don't know much about it, but I don't want to make people feel bad to read middle grade, but I just don't really want to read something that's middle grade right now, and I haven't for a really long time, so I just don't really have any interest in reading this. That's basically about it. Next book I have here is Armada by Ernest Cline. Bought it and I haven't even read it, and really I have no interest in reading it at all. When I first bought it, I did have some interest in reading it because I bought it when it came out, and a lot of people were like, oh my god, Ernest Cline's writing another book, and a lot of people read Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I didn't, so I didn't know anything about Ernest Cline. And then this book started getting not good reviews, and I just not interested in it again. It's okay if your interests fade, and that's what happened to me, and I'm no longer interested in this book. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with these books that I haven't even read or basically brand new. I'm probably going to give them to people, or yeah, so that's basically about it again for this book. It probably sounds boring, but as I said, people's interests fade, and that's what happened with the next couple books I have here. I started but I didn't finish. The first one here is These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spoon. I was really excited to read this book because I heard that it was like the Titanic in space, and I was super duper excited about that. But then I read that from other people's reviews that's only the first tiny bits like the Titanic in space, and then I found out that the rest wasn't, and I was just like, oh, I don't really want to read it then. And I read the first couple pages, and this was back last summer when I had this really bad reading slump, so I read the first couple pages, and that reading slump kind of ruined it for me, and I know that's a bad thing to say, but I'm just really not interested, again, in reading this book anymore. Out of this pile, there's basically only one book that my mind could change about reading, and that is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. When this book first came out, it had all the hype. People loved it so much, my friend loves it so much, and I was just, oh, I'm going to be a book hipster for this book. But I never really got around to reading it. I did read the first couple 30 pages because I was in the middle of marathoning the Mortal Instruments, and I didn't get City of Heavenly Fire yet, and I was reading this while waiting for my City of Heavenly Fire, but then I got it, and then I stopped reading this, and I never picked it up again. And my friend was like, oh, you should read it, but I was like, I don't really have any interest in reading it anymore. And that's it. Again, I just don't really have any interest, but still a part of me wonders where's this trilogy or series. I don't know how many books are going to be in this, but a part of me wonders where this series is going to go and where this book is going to go. So I may, like, comment down below if this book is really that good, because I may change my mind. It's like the only book I'm going to change my mind for, but still, again, I probably won't read it. The next book I have here is Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins, another popular book on BookTube. Again, I was reading this when I was in my reading slump last year, and I read the first 30 pages. I didn't like it. I put it down. But you know, honestly, I think I would have not liked this book anyways. I got it as a birthday present because I asked for it from my friend, and I didn't like it. But that was because I was in a reading slump. So maybe that's the reason why. I have a feeling that even if I wasn't in my reading slump, again, as I said before, I probably wouldn't still like this book. Well, that didn't make sense. I probably wouldn't like this book still, because it doesn't really seem like something I'd read. And to be honest, the synopsis isn't that promising to me. I don't know. A lot of people really do like this book. They say it's funny. They say it's like a mixture of contemporary and supernatural. And that sounds cool, but it's really not something I like. The next series I have here is actually the Testing Trilogy by Joelle Charbonneau. I picked up this book 2 years ago, I think, or 1.5 years. I don't know how long ago I picked this up, but it was a while ago. I picked the first book up, The Testing, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. Like, it was so good. It was action-packed. It was, like, really good. And then right away, I picked up the second book, Independent Study. It wasn't as good as the first book. Like, I read the first 80 pages, and then I didn't continue reading it. I just put it down, and I literally left it in my locker until the end of the year. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that book. But there is a third book, Graduation Day, and again, my friend, she read all 3, and she's like, you should continue reading them, Flynn, they're really good. But I just don't want to read them anymore. No. The premise of these books are really interesting. It's a dystopian, and lately I haven't been wanting to read dystopian, but I still really like the premise of these. So these may be another book that I will continue reading in the future, but at the moment, and yeah, I just don't want to read them. It's just, this book really put me off. It was so boring, and I couldn't stand it anymore. The next couple books I have here are really, really popular YA books. Like, they're everywhere on BookTube, and I just do not like them. Like, these are the books I have something to rant about, because I just do not like them at all. First book being The Fifth Grade by Rick Yancey. I love aliens. Like, I love aliens so much, and when I heard this is a book about aliens, I was like, oh, yay, I'm gonna read this because it's about aliens. And my best friend, she loves this book. Like, it's one of her favorite books of all time. She got this for my birthday, and she was like, I hope you really like this book. I picked it up. I have my bookmark in here actually still. I got 200 pages in, so like halfway. It was so bad. Like, I'm not even kidding. This was the book that got me into that reading slump. I just don't see what people like in this. It's not even that, like, the world isn't even that good. It's just not good. The characters are I feel like, not three-dimensional from what I remember. They just seem very plain, and it jumps back and forth too much for me. Like, it's weird the way the book's split up too. I just have a lot of problems with this book. The next series I'm not going to finish is the Selection series by Kira Cass. I did finish the original 3, the Selection, the Elite, and the 1. Well, at the time I read them, 2 years ago, a year ago, I can't keep track of time, obviously. When I first read them, I really enjoyed them. I was like, yay, oh my god, these are so good. And then as time passed, I was like, oh wow, those really aren't good books. I don't know why I like them. And then I heard the Heir was coming out, and I did get excited, even though I made up my mind that I didn't like the first 3. But I did get excited for the Heir. I read the first 80 pages, and it was so boring. Like, my friend, she read this, and she loved it. But I don't understand how you can like it, because honestly, it was so boring. It was literally, I feel like she didn't need to write this, because my opinions would have stood higher for the Selection series if Kira Cass did not write another book, and I know there's going to be like the last one coming out this May. There are plot holes in this book as well. Just the premise of this book, there are plot holes in it, and I'm not going to say what they are, because if you haven't read the first three, that'll spoil you, and I don't want to spoil you guys, but honestly, it's not worth a read. Just don't read it. It's not worth your time. The last book I have here is honestly probably the one that just upsets me the most, and it is The Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. I read Red Queen back in January. I was gonna read it when it first came out, but I didn't because Catty-tastic didn't like it, and there was this, I told you guys this in my 2 book hauls ago. I was like, oh, I didn't read it because Catty-tastic didn't like it, but then I saw the cover for Glass Sword, and I was like, oh, this cover is so pretty, which it is, and I want this cover on my shelf, but I can't have it unless I have Red Queen, which means I need to read Red Queen because it'd be stupid if I had books on my shelf that I'd never read. I read Red Queen. It was decent. I really didn't get into it until the last 100 pages, maybe halfway. I didn't really enjoy it. And as the month passed, like we got in February, before Glass Sword came out, I was like, I didn't really like Red Queen that much. But I picked up Glass Sword anyways, because I was like, hey, maybe I'll really like this book. And plus, I read Red Queen because I want this book on my shelf. Now, this is where the rant comes in. This book was honestly so bad. There are so many booktubers saying this book is brilliant. It's amazing. But no, I gave this book 170 pages. Okay, I was going to finish it, but I was like, no, I'm not going to waste my time on this anymore. Because honestly, it was so bad. I'm not going to finish this series at all. There is nothing that's going to change my mind. It's just bad. Like, I didn't like the writing in Red Queen, first of all. And I felt like this book, it tried to be better. I could see it tried to be better than Red Queen. But it was like, it was supposed to take place right after Red Queen, but it felt like that it took place like a year after. Just the way Mare is our main character, and we're in her mind. It's first person. And her personality from the first book to the second book is completely different. And it just feels like we've had this huge time gap, and the second book takes place like a year and a half later, even though probably it's only like a day later, and it's just badly written in my opinion. And this is where people are probably going to get upset because I just said that, but I'm sorry. I did not like this at all. I'm never going to finish this series. I really do not care what happened to Mare. The author, she took away my favorite character. She didn't take him away, but she basically made him like no TP for Mare, and I shipped him with Mare. No spoilers, but if you've read the book, you know who I'm talking about. And I hate the guy she's, the love interest she has at the moment. So this series is really just downhill for me, and I don't care about it. So that's it. Those are all the books I'm not going to finish at the moment. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. There was a lot of ranting in this video, especially towards the end. Again, if you did like any of these books I mentioned and I said bad things about them, that's totally fine. Just I personally did not like them. Comment down below if there's any books you are absolutely not gonna read / finish, because I'd like to know. Honestly, I like to see these types of videos, because even though sometimes they do kind of get me angry when they talk about my favorite series of all time, and they're like, oh, I'm never gonna read this, oh, it's so bad. Honestly, I do get angry, but I like to hear people's reasoning of why they don't want to read it. So that's why I do enjoy watching these types of videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on my next one. Goodbye!